We're continuing to take a look at Thor. We spent the last video looking at the oscillators and the filters in the global section, a tremendous amount of control that you have in that upper part of the synth. But down below it even gets more fun because you can map a whole range of sources from the envelopes and LFOs built in to Thor to audio input from external sources that comes into Reason. An awful lot of controls, MIDI controls and everything else. And then you can map any of those sources to any parameter within your synth. I'm going to do something simple here and choose a mod wheel and have that control the pitch of my first oscillator. Now I don't hear any change when I move my mod wheel because I have to determine the amount that the mod wheel will affect the pitch. And I do that right there. So now as I move my mod wheel, the pitch is affected. Let's get rid of this second oscillator. So I just pick a source, I determine the destination and the amount that the source will control the destination. I can clear out a row by clicking the clear button. Let's add a second source. How about that first LFO we defined? And how about if it maps to panning? And again, we'll set the amount to 100. So you can hear the LFO panning the sound back and forth. So there's lots in this section. I encourage you to play around with it. Down below is the fun step sequencer. This is a 16-step sequencer, and we can make it fewer than 16 steps by changing the steps knob. And those steps can be used to control notes, velocity, lengths of notes, step duration, and so forth. Let's set up a note for each section. We just dial in the notes. We'll start the sequencer by setting a run mode and clicking run. And of course I can change the speed by lowering or raising the rate. And you can see the sync light that allows me to sync this sequencer to tempo. Let's change velocity. So we'll raise the velocity of our second step, lower it for our first step. I could change the length of notes. And even the duration of each step. There are several different modes we can run in. We can go forward, 1 to 16, backwards, 16 to 1, pendulum 1, which goes all the way to 16, and then all the way back to 1, pendulum 2, which doesn't repeat the ends. It just goes back and forth, and then, of course, random. There are so many great patches that come with Reason for Thor in all different categories, and it's great to pull them up and start playing around with the parameters. Notice, by the way, when you turn off a light, that creates a rest. You can see a lot of different modulators can be put in effect. Let's add a little chorus. And a comb filter. So I really encourage you to open up Thor, grab your favorite patch, explore how it's built, start tweaking knobs and buttons, setting up modulation sources, and you're going to have a blast.